What you made me, I can't be less. What you made me, I made for worship. That's what I do. Can't be less of what you made me. That's what I do. I can't be less of what you made me. Can't be less of what you made me. Good evening to everyone connected. I'm happy and delighted to have us here again. Do well to let me know where you're connecting from. And for those of us who have been joining in the past years, it's a good time to send the links. Good evening, Melody. Good evening. Let us know where you're calling or where you're joining us from tonight. We are so happy to have us here. You might want to send the link just now to your friends, as many as you desire and you love, and you really want them to grow and to build up themselves. Something is trending right now on Twitter and Instagram of one of our wonderful gospel minister. I wouldn't want to mention his name now, who the Lord has, blessed with a spouse. Now, everyone would love a man like that, but if you ask him stories, he will tell you that he has built himself, he has developed himself. Melody, public health professional from Glasgow, Scotland. Wow, that's amazing. Nice to meet you, to know you, Melody. I like to connect with you. I'm in Scotland. I'm in Glasgow, just blocks away from where you are. Thanks for joining in Productive Conversations. Good evening. We're happy to have you. I'm not sure who is using Productive Conversations. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's a good time to connect. Let me know if the music on the background is too loud, so I would reduce it. Though before we continue, I would push it down to the very end, and then we'll have our guest minister speak through us. He's already in the building. He's already in the studio, and we'll be happy to have him in a short while. This is more like a professional platform tonight, spiritual, but we want to see how to broaden our horizon so people can be blessed, people can benefit, people can be enriched, and people can build up themselves intentionally. This year, it's a good time to build up yourself. So enjoy the music, send the links everywhere, your Twitter, Instagram, tag the Stephen Aroshebe on Instagram or the Anchor Official on Instagram or Facebook, wherever. Create an awareness and let people know that we are connected. That's what I do. I can't be less of what you made me. Lord, I worship you. I worship you with all my heart. Lord, I worship you. I worship you with all my heart. Lord, I worship you. I can be less of what you made me. I can be less of what you made me. I'm made for impact. What I do, I can be less. What you made me, I'm made for impact. That's what I do. Oh, I'm made for impact through me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Through your glory, here and there, I can be less to show your glory. Here and there, can be less of what you made me. Lord, I worship you with all my. Don't tell me that's the. Here's some inspiration. All right. Good evening, everyone. That was Minister Dunsin Oyekon singing through us. I can't be less. We are already 7 minutes into the time, and because we have so much to learn, we would not want to delay us or just keep us waiting as our guest minister is already with us in the studio. As the year begins, it might interest us to know that there are certain things. I preached a message in my church um, on review, renew, and refire. I think they will premiere that message perhaps maybe next week or so. And then I talked about us reviewing 7 things, 6 or 7 things. You need to review our relationship with people, our friendship. And I used a practical example with David and Jonathan. I said you can review your marriage and your parenting. I also said you can review your finances. I said you can review your spiritual life. I said you can review your commitment and covenant with God. All of the things were things I mentioned when we're discussing about review. I'm mentioning that because if we are going to build up ourselves to become a better person, we need to do review. We need to examine ourselves. We need to check ourselves out. And I decided to discuss with a brother and a friend in Edinburgh, United Kingdom, whom I have watched for the past, I think, 5 years, or am I right on that? Since 2020, 24 years now. And we have been together for the past 4 years. And I can say that his life has been spontaneous. Someone tagged me and sent me a message on Instagram of where we're just students and we're still coming up in Cyprus, not on Cyprus, when we're still in Cyprus before we relocated to the United Kingdom, and then how we're able to transit into where God has brought us to now. And one thing, if you ask me a question and say, "Tell me what has happened," the thing I will always say is, I kept on reviewing myself and I kept on building myself up. You see this live stream right now. After the meeting, I'll go and listen to it again, and then I will see where did I make mistake, where am I supposed to do better or more, and see how to improve in it. That is you building and developing yourself. You have to be sincere with yourself to be able to grow. And so tonight, just before I, bring up our guest speaker to share with us, I would like to just iterate you or inform you or just let you know more about this young man. I'm going to share my screen. I'm not sure if you can see. If you can see, let me know when you see this. And I'm just going to read to you his profile. How many of us can see that on the screen? And so his name is Komi Marvin Nenubari. His leadership has more to do with self-discovery than just leading people. He wrote a book on Mute Yourself. I feel you need to read that book. I have the book on my shelf. I would maybe bring it out while he's, speaking. I just forgot to bring it out before, we went live. I'll bring it out so you have a picture of what it looks like. You need to read that book. It's about what's inside you coming out, and then you can find that book on Amazon, I believe. So his aim is actually to, um, create an awareness on how to discover something about you. I listened to a message by Joshua Selman. He was talking about the seeing eyes. And he mentioned that there are quite a lot of things inside of us, but those things can only burst out through the divine. I'll cite somebody again. Dunsin, when you come was singing, channels of my spirit open up. Most people would actually think or look at that song from the spiritual perspective, which is absolutely true. But there are purpose, there are talents, there are gifts, there are ideas that are inside of us that need to come out, And so that's exactly what God has called this, my brother, into to be able to build you up, number one. Number two, to discover that thing which God has placed inside you. He's an engineer by profession and often referred to as the minister of growth. And then because of his visible passion for personal development, growth, and leadership, he's a founder of 360 Leadership Network. And I think they have about 4 different locations. It's a broad organization. We have one in Northern Cyprus, we have in Nigeria, we have in, am I right? Is it Sierra Leone, also Uganda? And we have in one of these other European countries. The Lord has blessed him, and then the impact of that ministry is, all over the world. He's the author of the book Unmute Yourself, as I've said, and he's also the founder and the pioneer or the president of Christian Fellowship of Engineering Students in his university where he graduated from, which is Rivers State University in Port Harcourt. If you ask him the question how he started that ministry, it was divine. And the aim was to discover people. This afternoon or this evening, depending on the time zone you are connecting from, I would like you to please welcome to the stage engineer doctor or engineer pastor Kumi Marvin Nenubari. You're welcome, sir. I think you have to unmute yourself. I think you're muted. You're muted, sir. Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
We can hear you live on direct.
Thank you so much. That was a powerful introduction, and I was still imagining if it was myself.
Netherlands. Yeah. Just sorry to stop you there. So I think I was right when I said one of the European countries. So Netherlands is the place. So if you are connecting right now across the world and you find yourself in these countries I've mentioned, do well to go to their website. I'll put it on the chat session while he continues. I think it's www.360leadershipnetwork.com. Am I right on that? .org. So you could go there and then they have people who are live and who would attend to you when you're dropping a question or when you're sending an email. Yeah. So good afternoon or good evening to you, sir. How was your day?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, my day was wonderful.
Yes.
Had quite a busy schedule today. Had a lot of things to sort out, both for work and all that. And yeah, I'm here. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for that powerful introduction. I said I at some point I was trying to imagine if it was
It's you, sir.
myself.
It's you, sir. And it's a privilege to have you, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm really
Thank you so
grateful,
much.
and
Thank you so much for
I
creating
honor
time
you
to be
so
here.
much, and I appreciate this platform. I have equally been blessed with through this platform as well over the years. And you talked about our friendship, and it's one of the friendships I'm always very grateful to God for.
Thank you
That
so much.
that I came across you as well. You've been also very instrumental to me, to as far as my life is concerned. I'm really grateful to have you as a friend, not just a friend but also a brother. And yeah, it's one of those friendships that I'm
Thank you so much.
always forever grateful for. Thank you for all you
So much,
do,
sir.
and
Thank you, sir.
I don't take it for granted to be on your platform. This is
Thank
a
you, sir.
platform that has blessed so many lives, and
Thank you, sir.
I count it as a honor and a privilege to be here today. Thank you so much. And
Thank you
to
so much, sir.
everyone on the chat box, I can see. Thank you, Melody. So nice to have you here, and productive conversations. Thank you so much. And for every other person, I can see we have more other people viewing but not
Yeah.
commenting. Thank you so much, everyone. I really
Thank you so much,
appreciate.
sir.
Yeah, and we look
So
forward
it's
to an
about,
amazing conversation
yeah.
together.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. It's about personal development. You see, most people, I think, one of the difficulties people have in
Okay.
life today is about building themselves. Even the Bible, I think, mentioned that we can build up our most holy faith, and He gave us a way on doing that by praying in the Holy Ghost. So I think most people have not gained the mastery on how to build themselves up. They really don't know what to do. Most people believe it's about reading books. Most people think it's about praying, going for conferences. But one thing I've come to realize is that there are actually certain things that we need to do part time to build ourselves and to develop ourselves. So, what's your take on that? What perspective or what idea or what philosophy do you have regarding personal development?
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so passionate about anything that has to do with personal development. Yeah,
That's right.
because it aligns so much with my journey. I was speaking with somebody yesterday. I was speaking with someone yesterday over the phone from London, and I was just talking to her about how that she was asking me about my book, which you mentioned, and I was relating
Mm-hmm.
to how personal development has been like a part of my life journey. And that is why
Mm-hmm.
I'm really very passionate about it, because I was in a space where I felt like I wasn't complete. I knew there was so much about my life. I knew there was more, but I didn't just find myself in that space doing what I should be doing. I see people doing stuff and I admire them, and I
Mm-hmm.
know I can do these things, but I
That's true.
couldn't find myself doing this thing. And I was like, what's the difference? And the difference between me just thinking I can do this thing and actually being in that space doing that
Please
thing,
of
right?
doing it.
And
Yes, sir.
I found out that the space or the gap or the vehicle that needs to take me from where I am presently, just thinking and actually being in the space where I'm doing what I really think I should be doing and what my purpose demands, is the journey of personal development, right? So it
Yes.
takes personal development to move you from the realm of just seeing what you can do, which is the realm of potentials. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can do this. I have the
Mm-hmm.
ability to do this. I can be more. I can be
Mm-hmm.
better. So it takes you from that realm of just thinking into the realm of doing, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
the vehicle that takes you from where you are to where you should be is personal development. And
Wow.
personal development is not just about, many people think when you mention personal development, just about books, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about that. It touches every area of your life. You can decide to develop yourself spiritually. It can be academics, it can be in your finances, it can be in your career, different areas of your life that you can make that decision to improve, right? So
Yes,
that
sir.
is why personal development is very, very important. I wrote something down some time ago and I said the aim of personal development is to so improve yourself until you become a person of value.
Value.
The aim of personal, I'm just going to repeat that again. The aim of
Yeah.
personal development is to so improve yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until you become a person of value that
Let me stop
everyone
you there, sir,
around
for
you.
a moment, just before you
Yeah,
continue. You mentioned until when the person becomes a person of value.
yeah.
So how do we know when we are making value or when we're making impact or when value is being created as we build ourselves? Most people, you see, you mentioned most people don't believe in themselves or they are not in that space yet. And that's because they feel they don't have enough. Some other persons have quite a high level of potentials, but they are not utilizing it because they've not
Mhm.
come to the consciousness, they've not recognized the investment they have made in themselves. So,
Of
how are we
course.
able to know? People might be watching right now and they will like, how am I really a person of value? How? How? What have I done? So, please, can you help us, throw more light or expand on that subject on value?
Thank you so much. Value is what makes life beautiful, right?
Mm-hmm.
And value is what gives you your self-worth, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are
Mm-hmm.
being measured in the marketplace by how much value you you produce, right?
That's right.
So
Yes.
you cannot underestimate the place of value,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
And how do you know you're valuable? the very simple answer to that is, how much problems are you solving?
Good.
Right? So
Yes, sir.
when you are in a space where you become a solution to problems, then you
Uh-huh.
are valuable. That means when you are not present, your absence is heavily being felt,
Mm-hmm.
because you occupy a space that you are able to solve problems and bring solution to problems. So you ask yourself, what problem am I solving
Solving.
in my life, not just in your life now also, but also in the life of people around you and in the greater society? What problem am I solving? It might be in your office. Some people are so valuable in their company that if they are not around just for one day, the company will feel it, right? That's why whatever they need, the company makes it available, because they don't want them to leave there, because they are so valuable.
So will I be right if I say value is similar to the word impact?
Of course,
That's
of
right.
course. Impact, I think impact is the measure of your value,
Hmm.
right? The
Okay.
measure of your value, the value you dissipate,
Mm-hmm.
can be quantified as impact.
Impact.
Yeah, so impact is the measure of your value, right? That's really how we can measure the amount of value you have. That's the impact, how you're able to touch lives around you, right? So if
Yes,
you
sir.
have a problem, I'm just going to give this illustration now. So if there's a problem and then you bring value, right? And you bring a solution to that problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
If there's a problem here and then you bring solution to a problem, what happens is value is being created,
Created.
right? Value is being created. And that value is also added to you as an individual as well. I don't know if you understand.
Yes,
So
sir.
if there's a problem and then you bring a solution to that problem, value is being created. That value can also relate in financial benefits to you as well. And then value is being added to you as an individual. That's why you see some people being guided by police and all that. They go with
Mm.
all manner of escort. It's because of the amount of value that
They're
is being
creating.
added to them in the society. So they can't just move on their own, right? So if you have a problem here, you bring solution to that problem. Value is added both to you and also to the solution you brought, right?
Yes.
And then the next thing that happens is that wealth is being created
Mm-hmm.
because of the value you brought.
Yes, sir.
Value always results to wealth. It always results to wealth.
Value always results to wealth. Wow.
Yeah.
And
So
that
that
is not
is,
in monetary value alone, I believe.
yeah, not just monetary value.
That's great.
Always, and when you manage that wealth and you're able to manage and multiply it, then it brings you to a place of abundance,
Hmm.
right?
Yes, sir.
So you have a problem, and then you bring solution to that problem, and then the next thing that happens is that value what is created, and value automatically leads to what? To wealth.
Wealth.
And when that wealth is managed and multiplied, it leads to
Abundance.
what? Prosperity. You can call it prosperity as well, or abundance. Leads to prosperity or abundance. And that's why you see that in a place where there is abundance of problem and there is no solution, what happens? The next thing that happens is no value is added to anybody.
Added.
There's no
There's
value
chaos,
added.
there's poverty and
Thank
everything.
you. And when there is no value, what happens? There is no wealth. And where there is no wealth,
The people perish.
yeah, there's no prosperity. And then what happens is that that prosperity turns to poverty.
Poverty.
And that's what's happening in many nations around the world,
Nations.
especially in Africa, where we come from. We see a
That's
lot
true.
of poverty, people crying. You see them on BBC, poverty everywhere. Because why? There's abundance of problem and there is no solution.
Hmm.
Obviously, there's no value added both to the environment and the people in that environment, right? No
Yes.
value. And that's why you most times Africa say the West look down on Africa, right? Because
Hmm.
that's the issue of value. That's what we're talking about. Because there's
That's true.
abundance of problem, no solution, and of
It's been
course,
on.
where will value come from? right?
Thank you so
So
much, sir.
we can see
So,
how
sir,
important personal development is. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
yeah, so sir, share with us about the ladders that every individual can take regarding personal development. I believe there are basic steps we can actually follow to produce a fruitful result in 2024.
Yeah.
I believe that there are things, there are principles, there are steps that we can apply, um, that can aid us in developing ourselves. Many people, in quotes, do say that they are building themselves, but might not be following the right principle that will yield a good result. Someone is going to build a four-story building, for example. It's not laying a good foundation, but
Yeah.
it's just putting up the blocks and everything. The building will not hold firm. So, sir, what do you have to say regarding personal development, and what are the basic steps we can take that will yield a fruitful result or a good result?
Okay, thank you so much. That's a question I get asked almost every week of my
Mhm.
life. Yeah, I get that question very, very much from our platforms and just the work I do as well as a coach. So yeah, so the steps you take to personal development recently, should I say recently, or yeah, it has always been my passion that when we are talking about personal development, we must come down to the subject of purpose. Purpose. This is very, very, very important because why are you developing yourself? What is the aim of the personal development, right? Purpose is what drives you. When you have your purpose settled and you know that this is the reason why I'm here on earth and this is what I should do, then immediately you start building yourself in the line of your purpose. That's the most
That's right.
beautiful journey to personal development. When you develop yourself in the line of your purpose, you know, this is what I am here on earth to do. This
Mhm.
is what my life demands from me. And then you start building yourself in line with your purpose. And I tell you, your purpose has a way of aligning to both your career, both your
Mhm.
financial goals, even in the aspect of your spirituality as well as a human. It cuts across all these levels, right?
Yes.
So personal development must align with your purpose. It's a message I've been preaching for quite a long time, for quite a while now, because I want everything to align to
With
purpose. And
purpose.
someone might ask, I'll just give an analogy of what, like, what do they call it? I'll just like list each of the letters of purpose and what
Okay.
it stands for, right? So
Yes,
I
sir.
said here that the letter P stands for productivity, right?
Hmm.
So your purpose, like I said, is very important, and that's the essence of you being born. That's the essence of your existence. And the letter P there stands for productivity or to be productive. So your purpose makes you productive. It is very important that you come to a point of discovering your purpose. Right in my book, just like you mentioned, I don't think I have all the time to talk about that, but if you can get this book from Amazon Prime, you can order it on
Yes.
Amazon Prime.
Unmute yourself. I was talking about that book.
Yeah, thank you. It will get to you in less than 3 days. Wherever you are in the world, you can just get it on Amazon Prime. So there I talked about my journey of discovering my purpose, how that I was in a space where I was so confused. I never had a clue about why I was here on earth. I saw many of my friends doing amazing things, touching lives around them and just being a blessing to people. And I was asking myself, where did I come from? How is it that my case is different and I have no impact? I'm not blessing people around me. I'm just living for myself. Then I went on a journey to discovering myself. I went on a journey to exploring myself, to really search out the gold that I have in myself. And that it was on that journey that I found out so many things about myself. And part of what I do today is also a product of what I discovered on my journey of discovering my purpose. So the letter P talks about productive. because your purpose helps you to be productive, right? Your purpose is is the very foundation of your productivity. If you don't discover your purpose, you can't be productive. There are people making money, living life, and all that, but I tell you, they are not productive because at the end of the day, what matters is whatever it is you are doing, is it aligned to your purpose? That's
Purpose.
the question. That's the last question you will hear someday. Whatever it is you were doing, does it align to your purpose? Because it is only when it aligns to your purpose that it becomes productive. A lot of people are just busy out there doing whatever it is they want to do, but they are not productive. Because why? It is not aligned
Aligning with that
to your
purpose.
purpose. So the question of purpose is a very big one. I'm just going to move on because of time. The U there stands for uniqueness. So your purpose makes you unique. It makes you stand out. It makes you unique and special and makes you stand out wherever it is you find yourself. I always say that if you're here in the Western world, we have so many, we have snow that fall, heavy amount of
Yeah.
snow that fall and all that. But it will amaze you to know that every snowflakes is different. They have a
Mm.
different crystal. The
Mm.
billions, zillions of snow that you see that fall on the ground, they are being disintegrated into tiny flakes. When you put that flakes under microscope and you examine, you find out that each of those flakes are different physically and also different in their crystal structures and all that. For those that study chemistry, you know what I'm talking about. They
Yeah,
are
morphology and the
all
likes.
different. Thank you, sir. They are all different. And that's what your purpose does to you. It makes you unique. It doesn't matter whoever is doing what your purpose demands you to do. There will always be that uniqueness about you when you discover your purpose and work in it. There will always be that difference, that special flavor that you add to whatever you do that makes you different, right? So that's one thing your purpose does. It brings about your uniqueness and showcases that uniqueness to the world. And the arrow there stands for real, real. REAL, not Instagram real, but but real, right? So your purpose makes you real. It's just like being unique as well. It brings
Yes.
out the realness in you. You don't have to imitate anybody because your purpose talks about you. It talks about the very special person that you are. It brings out the very flavor that only you can release to the world. That is what your purpose does. That is why you must discover your purpose. A lot of people live in life just walking in another man's shadow,
Mm.
imitating someone else. That's the
Mm.
worst life you can live because at the
Mm.
end of the day, you just lived another man's message and not the person that God has created you to be, right? So
Yes, sir.
your purpose makes you real and showcases the very realness of you to the world. And I tell you what the world really celebrates is when you're real. That's what the world celebrates. That's what the world needs. When you bring out the realness of you to the world, then you're being embraced and celebrated, even at the very top. You can't find anyone imitating anybody that is at the top. It never happens. They can be very close, but they can't be at the top. There are some comedians and all that you see that they imitate people, they imitate some people and all that.
Mm.
That's their own brand. They can't be at the top because that's you are imitating someone else. They are still struggling, to be honest with you. With due respect to whoever it is, but that's the truth. You can't live your life imitating someone else.
Mm.
That's not a life to live. You
Mm.
have to discover your own real content and
Mm.
bring it to the world. That's really when you'll be celebrated. It doesn't matter whether it's celebrating you now, but until you can bring out your own realness, your world will not really celebrate you. So R stands for being real, and P stands for what? Being present, present, present. So you are present. It brings you right into the presence of your life. Like you are around. We know you are here. because we can feel the impact from your purpose. We can feel you doing what you should be doing. Like my brother Stephen Aroshe, but we know he's here. Nobody can deny his presence in this world because he's doing something that is blessing lives. That's what purpose does. It makes you present, that people can feel and know that yes, you are around. We know we can't deny that you're what, that your presence. And arrow, O, I'll just rush over it. O stands for original. Original. If you find out all through what I've said, it talks about so much of uniqueness, being real, original, because that's really what purpose does. It brings out the very special of you. It brings out the real you. And then that's what O stands for. And then S, purpose. S stands for solution. Like I said, it makes you a solution. You become a solution to a problem. There are lots of problems in this world. And you have to ask yourself, do I want to be an answer or I want to be another problem?
Problem.
Do I want to be a solution or I want to be just another problem around? Right? When we were starting our community of 360 Leadership Network and we met one of our mentors, he said, you should make sure that you don't become one of the problems you're trying to solve, or you become a victim of the problems you're trying to solve. So when you have your purpose aligned and you have that right in front of you every day, it makes you a solution and not just a problem, another problem to be solved. And finally, the letter E stands for what? Empowering or exposure. So one thing your purpose does, it will expose you to the world. It will showcase you. It will take you up to the mountaintops. It will bring you to places you never imagined. It will bring you to kings. People will listen to you because you are a man of purpose, because you're a woman of purpose. When you're doing something, there's no height you cannot go to. There is nobody you can't meet. As long as God permits, there's nobody you can't meet. Because why? You are doing something. You have a purpose. You've discovered it. You've aligned yourself to it. Then it brings you to wherever it is you wish and your purpose should take you to, right? I know I've taken some time to talk about purpose, but it is very, very, very important. On the journey of personal development, you can't avoid the subject of purpose because everything you're doing must align to
With
your purpose.
purpose.
And then talking about the ladder of personal development, one thing that is very, very important on that ladder is that it is important for you to invest in
In
yourself.
yourself. That's right.
I can't overemphasize that. You have to invest in yourself. You need to spend time and invest in yourself. I always say this, that many people don't invest in themselves because they don't find themselves to be a profitable venture, or they think they are not a profitable venture. So when you see yourself and you think, if I invest in myself, I won't get the right return on investment, then there's no need for you to invest in yourself. Because if you want to invest in real estate, for example, you have asked yourself, what am I getting back from this investment? Right? If I want to buy a house, for example, what am I getting back? What's the return of investment of me investing in this real estate? Right? So some people don't find themselves to be that, but it's a lie. If you don't invest in yourself in the first instance, how will you know that you're not
That
profitable?
you have. Yeah.
Life itself, we always say, is a risk. So you must take the risks of investing in yourself, and then
That's
you
true.
find out you find out what happens at the end. But history has always proven that when you invest in yourself, you must surely get the return of investment. You must. So you should spend time to invest in yourself, build yourself, read books that matters, and also attend events like what we're having here as well. It's very, very, very important. I know very vital moments in my life that God used events to sort out for me, that I met speakers and heard things that changed the direction of my life to be where I am today. I know crucial moments of my life that I needed to make some decisions, and I was just led to go to some events, and I heard informations that changed my life. So what am I saying? You must spend time investing in
Yes.
yourself. I remember when I was doing my NYC, for those that are from Nigeria, you know what NYC is. It's a compulsory 1 year service to our country when you're done as a graduate from your undergraduate studies, right? So when I was doing that, I used a whole month of my allowance. I used it to buy books.
Mm.
I bought books with all the allowance that I got for that month. And most of my friends were like, because they went with me to the bookshop, they were like, are you crazy or something? How would you use all the money you have that they just
Getting
paid us to buy books? Are you It was strange to a lot of people,
yes.
that because many of them didn't know me. We just met as
During the
a place of
NYSC.
service. And I told them, don't worry, with time you will see the benefit of these books I'm buying. And it happened to be the time that went into COVID and all that. So I had time to really, really spend time and read these books. And I tell you, today I'm feeling the impact of those books I've read.
Mm.
And that's just the beginning of it, to be honest. Many of them today, they are like, wow, I you many of them started buying books after then, just
Mm.
years later, when they saw how my life was going and all that, right?
Mm.
So you can't underestimate the place of investing in yourself. You must spend time to build yourself, spend time reading, spend time developing yourself in the areas of your interest. Let's say, for example, you want to expand yourself in your career. What are the things you need to do to expand yourself in your career? The first thing you need to do is you need to know that wherever it is you want to be in your career, there is someone there already, right?
Mm.
And that's where the place of mentorship comes in, right? That you need to align with people that are in the places that you want to be already, right? You need to
Mhm.
align with them and find out, what do they do, what mindset do they have, what are the books they read, what are the people they follow as well, right? And you should be intentional in seeking for mentorship. One thing that have really improved my life on my journey to personal development has been mentorship. I intentionally align with people that are in the places I want to be, right? I do a lot of stuff just to align with them. Sometimes I volunteer to work for them. I volunteer in events that they are part of. I remember that happened many times in Nigeria, and I had the opportunity to meet these people, and not just meet them and snap pictures with them, no, but create strategic alliances with them that will improve me and bring me to the place I want to be. So you have to be very, very intentional about your journey of personal development. I think I've said so much. Let me
Well, no,
pause if
sir,
there's anything.
you haven't said so much. You've just been hitting the nail at the head. Thank you so much for expanding all of
Yeah.
those things, letting us know. I was writing down of myself on my tab. Just
Okay.
for those of us who are just joining in, this is, a forum where we come to build ourselves spiritually and as well, with our purpose. Now, we decided to talk on the subject on personal development because we believe this year the Lord wants to do great things. If the prophecy of the Lord wants to do great things is real, then you and I need to build ourselves so that the prophecy that is coming, we can benefit from it. And, brought in our brother to share with us on this subject. And the first thing he said is for us to discover our purpose. So I think if you're actually going to build yourself, then you need to discover purpose. So what am I building myself on? What am I developing myself on? That it will be a waste of time to actually say you're developing yourself when you have not discovered purpose. As painful as that might sound. I don't know if I'm right, sir. You know you're the purpose preacher, yourself and Dr. Sam. So I have to tread. I think you're muted.
You're
So
correct. You're correct, sir.
so I have to tread carefully. But with my little idea, if you did not don't discover purpose, you are just, building yourself like a mirage. It's going to be vague. So I'm a preacher and I do a lot of other things. So one thing I always do is I develop my word life. I'm a public figure. I speak out. I develop my English. That's because it's in line with my purpose. For some of you, you are meant to be an orator. You are meant to be a writer. You are meant to be a poet. You are meant to go into painting. If you have now discovered what God has assigned you to be, which is your purpose,
Mhm.
then you can begin to invest in yourself. I was watching an Instagram reel, I think it was today or yesterday, sir.
Mhm.
Pastor Dr. Paul Enenche was saying that when they give him some money, I can't remember the figure he mentioned. He said instead of getting that using that money to buy shoe, he would use that money to get books. I don't know if you have watched
Yeah,
that show.
I think I came
He
across
said
that.
he uses that money to get books. The same thing with myself. There are things I'm doing already to build myself. That when you are listening to me again, you can literally say significant, spontaneous growth, in what I am doing. And so, sir, what you have said today is absolutely correct, is true, and is right. What would you have to say as we round up, this evening? And what would you want to say in addition to this? Many people now have this, okay, now I need to invest in myself. I need to connect with mentors. I think let me even ask this open question to you, sir. Are you
Okay.
open to mentorship? People who are watching right now, do you mind them accessing you for mentorship to discover themselves? Do you have a forum where you bring people together and then they're able to build themselves up?
Yeah, thank you. And of course, I do have. I have. Apart from the platform of 360 Leadership Network, where we have like a tribe,
Mhm,
where we have people that have similar vision,
mhm,
interested in personal development and leadership as well.
mhm,
Um, I also have my own personal platform for
mhm.
that's apart from the organization. I also have personal platforms for mentorship. I have quite a number of people that I mentor as well on a weekly basis, and speak with them and send them stuff to do, assignments and all that. Right? Yeah. So yeah, it's something I do. But for now, I'm only open to the mentorship through the platform of 360 Leadership Network.
All
Yeah.
right, sir. Okay, sir.
My own personal space is full for now.
All
So
right.
yeah. But
So which
through
implies that they have to enroll through the 360 and then get trained from that
yes.
aspect. They might or be able to meet other of your resource persons. Is that what you mean, sir?
Yeah,
Okay,
yes,
okay,
yes.
that's perfect. So going forward, sir, what would you like to say? You've taught us about we need to invest in ourselves. Are there other things you feel we can actually add to develop ourselves going forward in this fresh new year that has just commenced? I think with the 20th, so we have 345 days left.
Yeah, true.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think one thing that is also very important for you to do, just as you mentioned in the year that has just come, is to spend time and seek for clarity, right? You don't just jump around or jump into a year and just begin to do whatever you think you need to do, right? That's why many spiritual platforms like churches and all that, they they spend time at the very beginning of the year just praying,
Mm.
fasting, and all that. I'm sure many church and organizations are doing that as well, right?
Fastings
So
and all that. Yes.
thank you. So it's a time for you to build a vision for the year, and
Mhm,
just reevaluate yourself for the past year, and also build a vision for the year you've just entered. And
mhm,
it's very, very important you have something written down. No,
mm.
a lot of people underestimate the power of writing stuff down, but it is
Vision.
very, very important. It works. Trust me, it works. Spend time, sit down, and have a pen and have a book. I have a lot of notes here
Mm,
around me. Sometimes, even on my bed, I'm writing, right? So you spend time, you just write and write what it is that I want to do this year. What are the things that are major milestones for me,
mm,
right? This also brings us to the place of um, goal setting as well,
mm,
setting the right goal. It has to
mhm,
be a very realistic goal. These are the things I want to achieve this year. And then you break it down to the very little bits that you do every day that moves you into achieving the greater picture.
Mm.
right? Let's say, for
Yeah.
example, you have a bowl of food in front of you, right? You don't. Your goal is to finish the food, but you don't just pick up the plate and throw the whole food into your mouth, right? You don't do that. You choke up. What you do is you break the food into piecemeal, right?
Mhm,
And you
mhm.
take each piecemeal at a time,
That's right.
and that helps you to chew and also helps you to digest, and so you don't harm yourself as well.
That's true. That's
So when
true.
you have the bigger picture, you don't just bump your head into it. You break it down into what you do every day that
Yeah.
moves you closer and towards the greater picture and helping you achieve. So one thing that is very important for us to do is clarity. Seek clarity. Spend time with yourself. In my book as well, I really, really prioritized that because it was one thing that helped me as well. I came to a point where I had to shut down from everything for the period of, I think it was about 6 months. I
Mm,
have to shut down from social media, even from my family.
mm,
It was quite difficult for them to get to me, from my
mm,
friends, everything. That was
mm,
back during my undergraduate. And
mm,
it was in that period I had to spend time with God and just with some books, one
mm.
of which was from the blessed late Miles Monroe.
That's
His
tomorrow.
books were very, very instrumental to my life and
Mm,
to my purpose as well. So I
mm.
spent time to ask myself this question. So clarity is very important. Most of us, we need to shut down because, to be honest with you, you're confused. You
Mm.
need to shut down. You need to shut down and reevaluate yourself and get a clear picture about where you are now and where you should be.
That's
And then
right.
what are the things I need to do to get to where I should be. So
Thank you
it
so
is
much.
very
Sir.
important
Someone has a
to
question
get that
here.
done. Okay.
This is Jimoski David. Wow, I love your name. He said, my question,
Jaworski.
please. He said, how does someone who believes personal development is waste of time, considering the person's financial status? I'll take that again. He said, how does someone who believes personal development is a waste of time, and then considering it during their personal financial status? So imagine someone is saying, well, I feel developing myself is waste of time. I should be looking for how to get money. How do you help a person like that?
Okay, I think I'm seeing the question in another light, and I think what the
Okay.
person is trying to ask is, you want to develop yourself, you want to go on the journey of personal development, but you
Mhm.
feel it's a waste of time because of your personal financial status. That means you don't have the money to engage
Okay.
to embark on the journey of personal development. I think that's what the person
Mm.
is saying, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Um, I think it also comes to the place of priority as well, right?
Hmm.
Where you look at what is most important in your life. There is I believe that there is nothing you really want to do that you won't get the resources that you need to do that. And also
That's
on the
right.
journey of personal development as well, it's not everything that relies on money as well. I remember when I started and when I was very curious about developing myself, most of the books that I mentioned that I got back in my undergraduate, not in my NYSC now, I had to
Yes.
borrow these books from friends. I know friends that had some books that I needed, and I have to borrow from them. And most of the events as well that I attended, most of them are free events as well.
Mm.
And and also these days, if you're looking for resources, if you go online, we have places like EduX, we have Coursera, we have a lot of these sites that train people and teach people on various areas of life you want to go, right? You can take free
Mhm.
courses from these places. Most
Mhm.
of them are free. These are platforms that are free. Events like this, as we're having as well, is
It's
also
free.
a free space, right? Also on
Yes.
our website, if you go to 360leadershipnetwork.org, we have piles up of resources that can help you as well. We have a free course. I think it's
Mm.
also like a 2 hours course. I also has some assessments. It's a free course that can help you on the journey of personal development as well. There are a lot of people I know that are doing mentorship as well. That is free. That you can also access, right? So I know money is needed at certain level of your
Yes.
journey of personal development,
Yeah.
no doubt, because you have to give something to get something. It's a
That's
natural law. That's how it works. I think it was David that said, I won't give to God what cost me nothing. So
Nothing. That's
yeah,
right.
so you see some people going on courses that cost them over 500, or let me say
US
500,
dollars.
5,000 pounds, or
Mm-hmm.
for almost 50,000 pounds for just a 2 day course,
Mm,
right? That's to tell you the level. That's to tell you the level of the value you believe in yourself, like how
mm,
much you believe in what you can deliver to your world, right?
mm,
So
mhm,
no doubt, at certain level, personal development will require finances from you. But the most important thing for you to do is to start from where you are. That
mm,
shouldn't deter you at all. That shouldn't stop you. Like I said, you can start by borrowing books from friends or accessing some free resources that are available online and wherever you can find them. And you can start from where you are, right? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I
So
hope
this is a
that
good time
answers
for
your
you to
question,
ask.
Jimoski.
Yes, Jamoski. Hope that clarifies your question. Apologies if I may have misinterpreted in a different way. That's the reason why we have two persons here. Yeah, what you are saying is absolutely correct. Actually, well, yeah, I think because I'm reading it out and then I'm trying to understand what he's saying, I must have missed it up at that point. So those who are connecting and watching live, it's a good time to ask your question. If you want your questions to be anonymous, that's fine. Yes, so Jumoski says that's answered very well. Thank you so much, Jumoski. Do
I'm
you have further
grateful.
questions before we close the call this evening? If you want your questions to be anonymous, just send it over to the YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, wherever you are joining from, and then we don't have to display it. We would just ask your questions straight ahead. I believe the guest would see the questions that you are sending in, and then we'll be able to answer everything within the short time we have. Thank you so much, sir, for spending this time with us today
Grateful.
to discuss on personal development. While we wait for questions to come in, we believe people might be typing out, things on the chat session. Most people, get tired at times when they are trying to develop themselves. I believe that's an aspect maybe I want you to touch briefly. Um, I believe that when we grow, our growth are not instant, they take time.
Yeah,
If we plant a particular fruit or we plant a crop, let's say beans, for example, beans takes about 3 days. But if you plant
that's
a
right.
coconut,
Yeah,
I think it takes about 2 years. If I might be wrong, but it takes a
that's true.
longer time. And
Yeah.
the farmer will be patient, so patient and believe so well that that palm front would yield fruit. Bringing it over to personal development, there are dimensions and there are ways that people are meant to grow. That the result will not be instant. What would you have to say to people who are watching right now? There are people who are going to become pastors, ministers, governor, presidents, theologians, and the likes. And then they are expecting to start seeing results almost immediately. But they don't know that they are building up themselves for a longer time. What advice, what counsel would you give?
Thank you so
And
much.
what do they need to do? What do they need to do in that interim while they're developing themselves? And then they're almost getting discouraged. What can they do to stir up, the passion, in self-development?
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, the questions are quite clumsy and then
I
they are
know, but that's
too
fine.
much. Yes.
I'll just get on it. So firstly, be patient with yourself.
Okay.
Be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. I will repeat that again. Be
Be
patient with
patient.
yourself. Everyone, just like
Hashtag
you
be
mentioned.
patient with yourself.
Thank you. Everyone have or has different growth levels, right?
Mhm,
You can't compare yours to mine, right? Just the
mhm,
same way you can compare your level of assimilation to mine as well. Some people
mhm.
come to class and some people don't even need to come to class, but they can just read the materials at home and trust me, they'll be excellent at it, right?
Very true.
While
Very true.
others need to come to class, read again, read over and over again before they can be productive or even reproduce what they've read or what they were being taught, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
you have to be patient with yourself. On the journey of development, it comes in phases, and it also has to do with your personality as well and how you react to change, because it comes with a lot of changes around you in your mind, in your environment.
mm,
It comes with a lot of shiftings. There are a lot of
mm,
friends that will drop out of your life. I remember on my journey as well, there are a lot of friends I didn't tell them to drop, but they just knew that with the level of growth this guy has now, we just
if we're
have
not
to
the
leave
same
him.
level. Mm.
Yes, because when we begin to interact, they find out that we, we've
I've
lost that
moved.
common ground. Thank you. We've
Mm,
lost that common ground. There's no common ground anymore. So, so there's nothing else to sustain the friendship, right? So that's exactly what happens. That's it. So you have to be patient with yourself. It takes time. And also, I always tell people choose progress over perfection.
mm,
Choose progress over perfection. You mustn't be perfect. You can't be perfect instantly. So choose progress. Be happy that you're making progress every day. Be happy you're adding something new to yourself, to your archive every day. So always choose progress over perfection. So because what deters people every time is they have this picture maybe of their mentor, they're seeing what the guy or the lady is doing, and that's exactly what they want to do. And they see where they are right now, and they become so discouraged, right? You don't know that it's the every step you take every day that will lead you to where you need to be. So always choose progress over perfection. You see that perfect picture of where you want to be and you become frustrated because of where you are now. No, always choose progress over perfection. I learned this long ago and it has really helped me
mm.
that wherever it is I want to be, I know I can get there as far as I choose progress over perfection. I mustn't and I will not. You can never be perfect at the beginning,
That's right.
but it comes with the every step you take, and then you find yourself in the place or in the places you want to be. Right?
Mm.
I don't know if I've answered your question,
Yes,
but
you
just
have. You
one thing
answered.
you will remember is choose progress over perfection.
Thank you so much.
Gold and
No.
everything valuable takes time. Before
Mm.
gold is being refined to the
Fine.
final state that you appreciate, it takes time. It
That's right.
passes through fire, passes through furnace, many unbearable situations. But at the end of it, it becomes what the whole world admires. That people are ready to pay whatever it is, that a thief is willing to break a house and enter just to get that gold,
Mm,
right? Because of the final value of what it is. At that point, they forget about all the process it passed through. So
mm.
choose progress, I say, over perfection every time.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Always be patient with yourself. That's me, anyways. At times I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying this thing, but it's not working. So you're
Yeah,
also you're also speaking to me as well to be
and
very
to me
patient.
as well. I was speaking to myself as well.
At times we really want to just see an immediate result. And we just want to see things happening almost immediately.
Yeah.
But these words are divine and they've come to us again clear and precise that we should be patient with ourselves. There are things that don't come immediately, they take time, to be born out. Thank you so much, sir. So just to wrap up quickly in a sentence, what would you say as we close the meeting tonight?
Okay. Yeah. Uh, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for deciding to be here. It takes a lot. There's a lot going on. In fact, the internet is a very noisy environment. If you open your Instagram now, it's full of noise. It's even noisy than the market, that the most
Mhm.
busiest market you can ever think of.
That's
Because
right.
one thing will lead you to the other, to the other, to
Yeah.
the other, to the other, to the other, and you just lost your mind and all that. So what am I saying? Thank you for choosing to be here today. This alone shows your commitment to growing yourself, right?
Mm.
This alone shows that even in the midst of the whole noise that is going on in the world, you are particular about yourself and you're particular about your growth and your development. And just to say thank you, and I want to assure you that if you put the things we've said here into practice, your life at the end of this year will be amazing. And you'll be
Amen.
surprised at what you've achieved in just a short period of time. So, once again, thank you. Thank you. I believe in you. I believe in your goals. I believe in your vision. whatever it is you want to do, I strongly believe and I know it is possible. I was
Yes.
sharing with a friend yesterday that there are no templates anywhere. Whatever you
Mm.
see in this world today are imaginations and thoughts of men, apart
That's
from
true.
nature, what God created. Every other thing is a thought of man, right?
Mm.
The systems nations are running on today are all imaginations of one man or men, right? The economic situations of nature, the economic theories that nations are running on are all imaginations of men, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about democracy, communism, and all that. These are all thoughts that men sat down to propound, to write. So there are no templates anywhere. You can bring out and chart your own course and bring out your own paths that people, even long after you've left this world, will still be plying on, right? So don't be afraid of this perfect systems you see in the world and the things, and you think, there's no space for me. It's a lie.
Mm.
All those things were all products of men, and
Mm.
you as well can bring out your own product
Mm.
that will cause a great earthquake, if I want to use that word, right? That will
Yes.
stir up a change in the world, and everyone begins to look in your direction. So don't give up, keep pushing, and I tell you, the sky is just a starting point for you. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Wherever you are, as many of us who are connected, please, if you don't mind, can you go into the chat session to say thank you, Pastor Engineer Kumi Marvin?
I'm
Thank you so
grateful,
much, sir. We are so grateful. I remember
grateful
how
for
we had to
this.
connect to see how we could bring you up this year. It was meant to be last year, and then we pushed it over to this
Yeah,
time. Thank you so much for
grateful
the
this
time
happened.
you've created
Thank you,
to make
brother.
yourself available here.
Thank you,
We are
brother.
grateful. We don't take the friendship, we don't take the love, and then this you have poured out with us tonight for granted. We are truly grateful, and we believe that these things that you have sowed in our hearts will reap great fruit and harvest. That you'll be so happy
Amen.
when someone meets you out there to say, Mr. Coleman Marvin, right? You say yes, and you could say that I actually watched one of your interview sessions with Stephen, and then you talked about personal development. These things have worked for me, and we are so happy. It's going to happen, sir. We just
I'm
want to
grateful.
let you know that these things, the time you've spent with us today, has not gone into waste. We treasure it solely, and we believe God that it's a time for change, and there will be a sporadic, transition with us. Everyone is saying thank you. Jimoski is saying
I'm
thank you.
grateful. Grateful. Thank you
Melody,
so much.
Wamadi, am I right
Thank
if
you,
I'm pronouncing that
Jiboski.
well? Melody is saying thank you so much. Melody,
Thank
could you send
you.
me a message on Instagram? If you're on Instagram, I'm Stephen Aroshegbe. You go see me there, and then I'd like to
Thank you,
connect with you.
productive.
Productive conversation is saying,
Thank you, Melody, as well. Thank you. I'm grateful.
thank
Jiboski.
you, and then everyone is saying thank you very much. Thank you so much, sir,
I'm
and
grateful.
we are grateful. So over to Ross, we just want to say thank you for joining us tonight. If you have friends out there who you feel, they are meant to, watch a broadcast like this, do well to invite them, share the link with them. Success Emeya is saying thank you very much, sir. So do well to, invite,
Thank you, success.
yeah, do well to invite, bring them in, and then we believe that they will be blessed. Again, we have these meetings once every month. This January edition is done already. Next month, we believe something great is going to happen. And so, fingers crossed, do well to like, share, subscribe, as we believe that you will be blessed. Again, thank you so much. And we are grateful. We hope to see you next month in February. Thank you so much. Stay with us, and we know that it's going to be a wonderful time. Bye for now.